Reports warn rapid growth could threaten water supply by 2025. Another home in the Villages has been declared uninhabitable. The AAC delays the date of amenity cap discussion to accommodate snowbirds. Lady Lake officials cast a shocking vote on the Grand Oaks development. Officials frustrated with major contractor working in the Villages. A commissioner's daughter gets a break in a 7-Eleven case. A villager's mother leaves her son behind bars after a Circle K robbery. How many holes in ones of golf did we get this week? Letters to the editor. This and more coming up. This week's news is brought to you by my YouTube and Patreon members. Well, we got some updates. Let's get to them and get them out of the way. The Amenity Authority Committee has decided to wait until February to hold a special meeting to discuss the possibility of reestablishing a cap on the amenity fees. The AAC originally planned for the meeting to take place in October, but has now decided to delay it till February to accommodate the snowbirds. Those coping with uncertainty about future finances want to see the cap restored. Many residents believe a promise was broken in 2019 when the AAC, which oversees amenities north of County Road 466, and the Project-Wide Advisory Committee, which oversees amenities south of County Road 466, both agreed to abandon the cap. The cap on amenity fees was a selling point when they purchased their homes. Thus far, PWAC has shown no desire to discuss bringing back a cap on amenity fees. As of January 1, the prevailing rate for new homes and resales climbed to $295 per month. Homeowners who remain in their residence are subject to amenity fee rate hikes in accordance with the Consumer Price Index. A villager has been allowed to return home after his wife of 36 years called for a domestic violence case against him to be dropped. Robert Panek, 57, was arrested August 4th after his wife dialed 911 to report an attack at their home in the village of Newell. After entering the home, Leesburg Police Department officers found that it was in disarray with furniture and glass scattered throughout. Panek's wife also had dry blood on her shirt and pants. She claimed her husband struck her, causing her to fall and hit her head on the tile. She had a 1-inch knot on the side of her head. Panek had fled the home prior to the arrival of law enforcement. Police made multiple attempts to contact the New Jersey native's cell phone. He eventually responded and said he and his wife had been arguing all day. Panek, who stands 6 feet 3 inches tall and weighs 235 pounds, said during the argument his wife stumbled and fell, hitting her head on the tile floor. He later revised his statement and admitted he made a defensive move and pushed his wife. He was arrested on a charge of battery. A Wildwood commissioner's daughter has won a break in a legal case in which she is charged with stealing a wallet at a 7-Eleven local convenience store. Tia Mershon Green, 24, had been facing a felony charge of grand theft in connection with the wallet that was stolen on New Year's Day at the 7-Eleven on U.S. Highway 27 and 441 in Fruitland Park. The prosecutor's office had opted to reduce the charge to a misdemeanor. Green, the daughter of Wildwood Commissioner Julian Green, pleaded not guilty to the reduced charge of September 13th in Lake County Court. She is being represented by a public defender's office according to the court files. A negotiation conference in the case is set for October 28th. A performer who bills himself as the village's country rocker has lost his driver's license after a drunk driving arrest in a golf cart after leaving City Fire at Lake Sumter Landing. Stephen Bruce Carter, 59, who lives in the Bailey Ridge Villas, pleaded no contest Tuesday in Sumter County Court to a charge of driving under the influence. He will lose his driver's license for 6 months, has been placed on probation for 1 year, and has been ordered to perform 50 hours of community service. That's his update. A villager's son remains behind bars after he used her car in a robbery at a Circle K. Tanner Reed Archer, 42, who lives with his mother in the village of Piedmont, was arrested September 5 on a warrant charging him with robbery. This past week in Marion County Court, he pleaded not guilty in the case. Bond has been set at $25,000 and his bond has not been posted. Well, it sounds like Mom's doing a little tough love. Good for you, Mom. I know it's not easy, but it's what has to be done. A villager with several drunk driving convictions in New Jersey has been sentenced in connection with a golf cart drunk driving arrest on Easter Sunday at a Winn-Dixie store in the Villages. This goes back a little ways, but it's an update. Janine Renee Rapa, 45, who lives in the village of Santo Domingo, has been placed on 24 months probation following a sentencing hearing earlier this month in Lake County Court. She had also served 57 days in jail. Rapa had been stopped at a stop sign at the store when a man walked in front of Rapa's golf cart at the Winn-Dixie at La Plaza Grande. That's up by Spanish Springs. According to the arrest report from Lady Lake Police Department, Rapa yelled profanities at the man and then walked toward his silver Ford and used a key to scratch the right front passenger door, causing about $1,000 damage. The man's mother was sitting in the Ford when Rapa keyed the door, prompting the mother to call 911. A police officer arrived in the parking lot as Rapa was attempting to flee in her golf cart. The police officer used his squad car to block her golf cart and prevent her from leaving. It appeared Rapa had been drinking. Officers found that she had had multiple convictions for driving under the influence in her native New Jersey and had been arrested for drunk driving in 2023 in the Villages. After the incident here, her driver's license was permanently revoked. Rapa refused to participate in field sobriety exercises and repeatedly demanded a lawyer. She provided breath samples that registered .307 and .289 blood alcohol content. While she was free on bond in this case, she was arrested on another golf cart DUI. That case is still pending in Sumter County Court. That always cracks me up when people get arrested and they're drunk and they demand a lawyer. Police officers don't have to provide you with anything. After you're booked, that's when you get your phone call. But in the street, nah. Okay, I think that's all the updates. Let's have some more news. Beginning Monday, St. Charles Place will be closed for approximately 1 month from east of Alamanda Recreation Center to west of Darlington Drive. The closure is due to a damaged stormwater pipe, according to Sumter County officials. The work includes replacing 340 litre feet of damaged pipe and 2 structures within the system. Travelers may detour around the closure by using Bailey Trail or Buena Vista Boulevard. This particular section of St. Charles Place has been plagued with problems within the past year. In January, there was a major water main break. It was deja vu all over again as residents in this area had witnessed a major pipe failure in November at the same location. A home in the Villages has been declared uninhabitable after the discovery of a fresh ground depression. The home located at 5986 Scardina Street in the Glenda Villas in the village of Monarch Grove had been tagged with a bright red sign by the Sumter County Development Services Department. A county official confirmed the home was tagged due to a discovery of a nearby ground depression. The home will remain uninhabitable until it is cleared in a safety inspection. Looks like a nice home. Looks like the depression is more or less in the street, just from what I see here. It is the latest chapter in an unnerving saga that began in August 2023 when a landscaper discovered sinkholes opening up on Scardina Street. The discovery set in motion months of repair work, which disrupted life for about a dozen homeowners, forcing them to temporarily move out. The original owner of 5986 Scardina Street purchased the home in 2020 for $275,000 and sold it in 2022 for $379,000, thereby profitably dodging the bullet of the sinkhole drama. More problems with all the rapid growth in and around the villages. And I know a lot of you out there has been talking about it. Now they're starting to confirm some of your worries. A new report from Florida Tax Watch warns that the state may experience a water shortage by 2025. The report indicates the water shortage is being driven by rapid population growth and underfunded infrastructure. The villages is the state's epicenter of growth, and the communities which support the villages have been feeling the strain of the rapid population increases. This past week, Lady Lake officials turned down a manufactured home development after an emotional 4-hour meeting Monday night. Angry opponents argued that affordable housing would have drained the town's resources, including water supply and wastewater capacity. Wildwood leaders have been under incredible pressure to complete a $150 million wastewater treatment plant to serve the surging population. The city had to increase water rates by 5.3% in the recent budget. Residents of the villages loudly complained in recent weeks when they watched reclaimed water being dumped on golf courses and spraying residents traveling on multimodal paths. Residents argued the smarter strategy would have been to share the water with residents and allow them to get some relief on their irrigation bill. I agree with that. The Florida Tax Watch reports notes potential economic consequences for industries such as agricultural and tourism, alongside risks of environmental degradation. Strain on Florida's current water supply could result in usage restrictions, higher utility costs, and increased saltwater intrusion. Florida Tax Watch has recommended and coordinated a statewide strategy to address the issue. The report estimates a funding gap of $1.7 billion by 2040 to mitigate any growing challenges. As Florida continues to grow, understanding and addressing these water supply changes is crucial for the state's future, Florida Tax Watch said in the report. See? You were right. A villager who enjoys attending shows in the villages is unhappy with a policy at the Tracy Performing Arts Center. John Van Dyke of the village of Briar Meadow has been in the villages for 3 years, and during that time, he and his wife have enjoyed a plethora of shows at the Sharon L. Morris Performing Arts Center, Savannah Center, and the Studio Center at Tierra del Sol. One of the features that has been extremely useful in the ability to cancel or exchange tickets. Occasions arise when a change in dates is necessary. Attendance is impossible, or even when I have additional visitors to our home and have to exchange ticket or shows in order to get additional tickets where we can all sit together, Van Dyke said. He eagerly signed up for shows at the new Tracy Theater located in the village's charter school campus at Middleton. One of those shows is Spin Doctor, set for October the 6th. He was surprised to receive an email indicating that tickets for the show, for which he had paid full price, were suddenly being offered buy one, get one free. He took a look at the seats available for the show and found that only about 1/3 of the seats had been sold. I called the box office to see if I could get the same deal. As was told, the policy at the Tracy is no exchanges or refunds of existing tickets, so I was stuck, period. This is crazy policy, he said. He said that seeing the discounted price and not being offered a similar deal after he'd paid full price was a slap in the face. I've actually experienced that myself. Not at the theater. How many times have you guys went into a store and bought something, and then the very next day you find it for sale in the newspaper for half price that you just paid full price for. It is kind of irritating. Van Dyke said it's taught him a lesson. Unfortunately, what this policy is forcing me to do is to never buy another ticket at this venue because I know if something changes, I'm simply out of money, he said. Yeah, when it comes to the developer and his companies, let me just tell you, and I'm not slapping anybody in the face, but I'm simply telling you, it's all about money. It's all about making money. And the best way to make money is not spend it and not have to give it away. And so that's usually going to be your answer in any case around here. In addition, he said the manager of the village's entertainment has not responded to his queries for an explanation about the policy. Well, there is no explanation. That's just the policy. They don't have to explain to you why it's their policy. That's just their policy. Officials are venting their frustration with a major contractor working in the villages. From water to trash pickup, Jacobs is a major part of daily life for thousands of villagers. It was recently announced that Jacobs will be taking over trash collection in the southern end of the villages. However, officials are not necessarily enamored with Jacobs' performance. Community Development District 1 Supervisor Kathy Porter says she has had 4 leaks from pipes connected to her home in the village of Rio Ponderosa. She said that leak number 4 was found to be on her side of the property. It cost me $500 to fix, so that was on me, she said. Porter said it was nearly impossible to get Jacobs to respond to the leak. When a technician finally showed up, he complained that her problem was one of 100 calls for service he was being dispatched to for repair. Maybe Jacobs needs to hire people. Porter acknowledged that the burden on a single technician was far too heavy. I am very unhappy with Jacobs, Porter said. These responses are inadequate to say the least. CDD1 board chairman Rocky Heiger agreed with Porter's assessment of the diminished quality of service from Jacobs. There has been a noticeable change in the level of service provided by this company, Heiger said. Community Development District 4 board Cliff Weiner said residents have been the ones to suffer because of lack of response from Jacobs. As these companies grow and get bigger, it only gets worse. It doesn't get better, Weiner said. That seems to be true, I've noticed. Hopefully things will get better. A fraud suspect has been held this week at the Marion County Jail after a judge revoked his bond. Franklin Bobby Hogan, 34 of Lady Lake, was taken into custody Friday. He is facing multiple charges of grand theft and fraud following his arrest earlier this year on warrants charging him with crimes at Citizens First Bank branches in the villages. Citizens Bank branches is owned by the developer. He was initially arrested in January and charged with cashing fraudulent checks at Citizens First Bank at Mulberry Grove Plaza in Marion County. In May, he was arrested on Sumter County warrants charging him with fraudulent activities at bank branches at Colony Plaza and Pinellas Plaza. If you're going to play, you're going to pay.
Hello, villagers and those that want to be. I am the skip-proclaimed Medicare guru and bringing you a Medicare Minute. Wanted to let you know about some things that are going on in the future. Open enrollment be starting in mid-October. Just wanted to let you know about that. Also, what is a Medicare open enrollment? Well, it starts on the 15th of October and runs through December 7th for effective changes to go into place on January 1st. It actually gives you the opportunity to join, drop, or switch to another Medicare Advantage plan if you're in one, or if you have original Medicare and have a Part D drug plan, you can change that. Or if you have a supplement plan and a Part D drug plan, you can change during that period. You can also switch from original Medicare, which is Part A and B, to a Medicare Advantage plan, or vice versa, Medicare Advantage back to original Medicare. And like I had said before, you also can use your drug plan, evaluate it, and make a change during that period, October 15th to December 7th. What are some of the changes that are coming forth? Well, one of the great things about those of you who take Medicare prescriptions is the fact that there's a $2,000 cap in 2025. I'll get into that more as the time approaches and give you all of the changes that are going to occur. I just want to let you know we are in the business of turning frown upside down, and we hope that you reach out to us and see if there's anything we can do to help you.
A man from Guyana, previously convicted of drunk driving, was arrested after running a red light in the Villages. I have no idea. The name will be in the picture. We're going to call him Vish, because that's the first four letters of his name, V-I-S-H, Vish. Vish, 23 of Ocala, was driving a car at about 11 p.m. Sunday when he ran a red light while turning from Avenida Central onto U.S. Highway 27 and 441, according to an arrest report from the Lady Lake Police Department. Nish admitted he did not have a valid driver's license as it was suspended as the result of a 2020 arrest for driving under the influence in Marion County. A check by the police officer revealed that Nish has had several other suspensions of his license. He was arrested on a charge of driving while license suspended. He was booked at the Lake County Jail and released after posting a $10,000 bond. A massive Walmart supercenter is planned at the intersection of State Road 44 and Morris Boulevard near the Villages Grown Processing Plant. We've reported this before. This is just an update. The nearly 200,000 square foot store also is expected to feature at least 20 gasoline pumps and a 2,904 square foot fenced garden center. An 81-page detailed site plan has been submitted to Wildwood officials. The supercenter will be built on 33.5 acres owned by the Villages Land Operating Company. The developer is Walmart stores east of Bentonville, Arkansas. I will include 867 parking spaces and 38 cart corrals on 14.7 acres according to the site plan. The traffic light will be installed west of Morse Boulevard at Waxman Drive, which will lead to the store. The store's address is 1155 Waxman Drive. Another store entry point will be off Morse Boulevard. A 6,120 square foot fuel station canopy will cover the gas pumps. Stormwater retention ponds are included in the site plan, with some water expected to drain under Morse Boulevard to the east. Subcontractors include Tico Water, Spectrum, Seco Energy, and a company called Virus Water, based at Lake Sumter Landing, that will install sanitary sewers. CPH LLC of Sanford will serve as project engineer, environmental consultant, surveyor, traffic controller, and landscape architect. Coors State Group of Minneapolis is the building architect. The project will be completed in two phases, focusing on a site preparation and construction. The store is part of Walmart's 5-year growth plan that includes building 150 stores and remodeling 650 others in 47 states and Puerto Rico. Using a store of the future concept that includes boosting shopper convenience, expanding the product range, and implementing new technology. If it's going to be one of them stores where they don't hire nobody and we have to do all the work, I won't be going in there. An armed man and his female companion were arrested in a parking lot at Pinellas Plaza in the Villages. Paul Bernard Herman, 56 of Brooksville, was driving a silver pickup at about 9 p.m. Saturday when he was pulled over in the Bank of America parking lot in Pinellas Plaza due to an inoperable taillight, according to the arrest report. The records check revealed that Herman was driving on a suspended license and was previously convicted of armed burglary in Hernando County. The officer who made the traffic stop found a .38 caliber Smith & Wesson firearm tucked under the driver's seat of the pickup. Herman was arrested on a felony charge of possession of a weapon by a felon. A passenger, 38-year-old Shauna Leon Nelson, also of Brooksville, was found to be in possession of a controlled substance and drug paraphernalia. She was already on probation. Both were being taken into custody and booked at the Sumter County Detention Center. It seems like they just never learn, no matter how many times they get arrested. This is the way I keep saying, we really got to start getting tough on this. They don't care. They'll just do it again. A felon, not supposed to have a gun or any kind of a weapon, but he has one. He doesn't care. Instead of spending billions and billions of dollars in other countries across the seas, spend it here in this country and start building more and more prisons. Road impact fees for new Sumter County home lots will rise by 50% after commissioners approved the increases Tuesday night. The increases, the maximum allowed by state law, will be phased in 4 installments beginning January 1. Commissioners also approved separate impact fees of $973 per single-family lot to help finance a new fire station for West Wildwood. The affected area will be bounded by US 301 Interstate 75 Marion County and the Florida Turnpike. Assessed only on new construction and paid by developers. One-time road impact fees help pay the cost of building new roads or expanding capacity. Based on a study by Alfred Benesh and Company, Fees will rise to $3,999 per lot for single-family homes and $1,458 per lot for age-restricted homes. Current fees are $2,666 for a single-family lot and $972 for an age-restricted lot. About 45% of new homes are expected to be age-restricted due to the growth of the villages. You catch that? Fees also apply to businesses, and the highest amount will be $42,591, up from $28,394 paid for the lot of a fast food restaurant with a drive-through lane. Increases are expected to generate $8.8 million to $13.5 million per year, depending on the number of building permits issued. The cost is $3.4 million per mile for designing and building county roads, according to the study. State roads cost $5.9 million per mile. Tuesday's public hearing was the opposite of 3-hour public hearings when road impact fee hikes were last considered in 2021. The only speaker from the audience wanted to complain about traffic on US 301. And 301 is getting bad. In 2021, commissioners approved a 75% impact fee hike, which would have boosted fees for the villages to $1,701 per lot. 3 commissioners were elected in 2019 and incumbents were ousted over a 24% county property tax increase. They viewed the fees as a way to ease the tax burden on homeowners. Construction workers and business owners were among the overflow crowds that protested the fee hikes at public hearings. The hikes were rescinded by a state law retroactive to January 1 that year. The restricted single impact fee hikes to 12.5%. The legislation was co-sponsored by then State Representative Brett Haig, wouldn't trust him any further than I could throw him, R-33, who received a 6-figure salary from the villages. You catch that? State Representative Haig, who sponsored a legislative bill in basically the developer's favor, and he was on the village's payroll for a 6-figure salary every year. And he's supposed to be representing the people. I suppose technically you could twist this around to say he was, but County Chairman Craig Estep and Commissioner Orrin Miller were among those who approved the 2021 fee hike. Both were defeated in last month's Republican primary election. A Camaro driver who stopped for gas was arrested after fleeing from the police in the villages. Paul Wilhelm Graber, 28 of Bellevue, was driving a gray Chevrolet Camaro at about 9:30 p.m. Tuesday on U.S. Highway 27-441 when he passed another vehicle at a high rate of speed, according to a arrest report from Lady Lake Police Department. An officer estimated the Camaro was traveling at 70 miles per hour in a 45-mile-per-hour zone. The officer activated his lights and siren and began pursuit of the Camaro. Graber acted as though he was going to turn onto Main Street at Spanish Springs, but instead kept driving. He continued into Marion County, and the officer terminated the chase. The officer made other area law enforcement aware of the driver had fled the jurisdiction. The Camaro was spotted at a racetrack gas station in Bellevue. Graber was detained by law enforcement. The Lady Lake officer arrived at the gas station and positively identified Graber as the driver who fled from him. The Florida Navy was arrested on a charge of fleeing to elude law enforcement and booked at the Marion County Jail on a $2,500 bond. How many holes in ones of golf did we get this week? Looks like we got one. A Village of Rio Grande woman was thrilled to get a hole-in-one. Deborah Gleason scored the lucky ace on September 3 at 124 yards at hole number 6 at Della Vista Executive Golf Course. She used a 5-wood. Congratulations on your hole-in-one, Deborah. How about some letters to the editor? To the editor, it's inconsiderate to park in handicapped parking when someone is just sitting there, taking up space when the handicapped person is in the store. Can't you park somewhere else and watch for them to come out of the door? Also, there are people parking in handicapped parking spots without any sticker, or they were once handicapped but won't remove the placard just cause they want the closer parking. You ought to think how hard it is for them to park when someone is parked there. Sent in by Carol Moreras, the Village of Country Club Hills. Well, speaking of that, I got a bad parking video coming up right after this. They're always fun, and you can see just how inconsiderate some people are. To the editor, Recently, the photo and caption, 2 large trucks were parked in spaces reserved for golf cart parking only at Walmart, caught my eye. On the one hand, I am thinking any business should be able to set the policy for their store and to some degree their parking lot too. However, where does this type of discrimination end? Discrimination. People like to throw that word around, don't they? It's discriminating. Do we have special places for bicycles taking up car spaces? Yes, we do, actually. Do we have special places for veterans like Lowe does and about pregnant ladies? Yes, we do, actually. Where do we stop the special parking allowances? What about motorcycles? Being an old motorcycle rider, I can tell you that there was restaurants and different places we went that had special motorcycle parking spots. Please tell me this is not a trend. Of course, disability parking always should be privileged. That's sent in by Jeff Atwood from the village of Fernandino. I'll let the audience think about your letter to the editor, Jeff. I won't even respond. Okay, I think that's going to be the news for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, I dedicate this news to my Patreon members. If you're not a Patreon member, I ask you to check it out and see if you'd be interested in joining. You can join for a little $2 a month, see what it's like. And with that, you'll get a free invitation to my private members only Discord page, which there's a lot of things on there. And here recently, we just posted some photos on there where we went out and we met some Patreon members, one of which is an entertainer here in the Villages. And we went down there to support that person. And with that being said, I'm going to get out of here and just let me say, be well, take care, stay safe, be aware.
Don't leave that key in the golf cart.